Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of Behind Enemy Lines, the podcast where three New Englanders who are non Patriots fans gripe about their teams, gripe about the Patriots, gripe about football in general. We have some good takes, we have some bad takes, but we definitely have takes for all of you. So I just wanted to welcome everybody back to the show. My name is DT, is what they call me. I'm a Cardinals fan. And who else do we have here today? Let's have the Jets fan go first this week.
Yeah, I mean, that's not what to say. I'm a Jets fan. I'm miserable. It is what it is. I'm wearing a Darrelle Revis jersey from 2009 just to remember the good times.
And our additional fan here of the Buccaneers, who do we have here with us?
That would be Ryan Cox, world famous Buccaneers fan. But really just some guy from New England who's a Bucs fan, born in Tampa, raised New England. So
fantastic. It's good to see you guys again, as it is every week, as we get to Top Shot, talk a little football, talk a little shit. I'm going to open with asking Ryan how he is, because I have a whole other set of questions for Jay after this week's football matchup. So, Ryan, first of all, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing pretty good. Doing really good, really having a lot of fun with fantasy football and all that COVID-19 brings to that party.
Oh man, it's been brutal.
Doing pretty good. Yeah,
it's been rough,
an
dude.
interesting one.
I've been getting my ass beat in one league, and I'm somehow one of the best teams in the other league, even though I have no reason to be.
Yeah, you're really in the league that we're all in together. Struggling.
I'm having a tough time, but I am the defending champ, so at least 2 times.
That's true.
So I got a couple years to have a rebuilding season or two.
You're allowed. You're allowed.
I lose all credibility. And Jay, how are you doing after this fantastic Sunday that we just spent together?
I mean, the weekend was nice. So for those who don't know, me and DT, we spent the long weekend at my family lake house to watch the game on the big screen outside. Didn't go so great for my team.
It went amazing for my team. Went amazing for my team. 20-point victory.
It went about as expected, but you know.
My prediction from last week did not go according to plan.
I can't believe you colossal piece of shit with that.
Oh you also said I don't believe anything I'm saying right now.
No, I didn't. I didn't believe a word of it.
Oh man, that was a hell of a game. I thought it was a lot of fun. You guys were in it. You guys were in it for a little bit. I think you just
we were in it longer than I expected us to be in it.
Honestly,
being honest.
Honestly, me too. And I was sweating a little bit at points.
Shouldn't have.
But we walked out with the W. It was a good bounce back. I think we really, really needed that, especially going into this week, which we'll get to in our matchups portion of things. But we want to start with this week in football and the major headlines that we want to talk about. It may not be the most major things going on in the football, but probably the most major things going on in our purview of the football world. And the big news for this week was that Le'Veon Bell was released and subsequently signed to the Kansas City Football Chiefs. I'm going to let our miserable Jets fan take the lead on this. How is that roller coaster of a week going for you, buddy?
I mean, 5 years ago, I would have been in my feels, but it's been such a long trip of just shit on shit on shit. I was surprised that they released him. I thought maybe they could get like a 7th for him, maybe. But that contract was just too big. He was due, I don't remember the exact number, but it was more than you're going to want to spend for a running back that really, what was it?
$6 million this year.
See, the number I had in my head was 8 for some reason, but you're probably right. You'll notice that the Le'Veon Bell jersey's gone. I was surprised that it got as bad as it did, as quickly as it did, because he just came back from IR and played one game, and then he was pissed about his usage in that game, which he should have been. I think he had like 60 yards on I don't remember the carries was, but it was his yard per carry was decent. And then Gase just kept getting it to Gore like over and over again during the game, and I was like, what is going on? Like Bell's getting first downs, and you keep giving it to Gore. And you have to remember in the back of your head as a Jets fan, oh, it's Gase. That's why.
Yeah,
Um,
we were talking about that while we were watching the game. You were like,
Yeah.
"Where's Le'Veon? Where is he? Is he hurt? There's nothing. I haven't like. There's nothing." You literally checked Twitter. It was like, "Is he hurt or something? I don't know. I don't know what's going on here." And you were beside yourself for a little bit, and I was like, "I don't know what's happening either, but like, I'll take it."
But I'm glad he's in Kansas City. Honestly, I think the time he was with the Jets, like I was expecting a total diva. I was expecting like a Jamal Adams, and the ironic part is I was expecting Jamal Adams to be what Le'Veon Bell was for us. He didn't say shit. He just basically said like was pissed about his carries. He never like lashed out on social media. And then once he was released and signed by the Chiefs, he just said, "All right, I'm ready to get back to work." He didn't say shit about the Jets. He never shit on the Jets whatsoever. I still like him as a guy, and I'm still going to root for him as a player.
Yeah, he was a really good team guy for you. I remember you and me being pleasantly surprised by that. We were like, "Yo, he's like he's like here to work." And
he was an awesome teammate. He should have. The reason, and I think I knew the writing was on the wall when Gase didn't make him a captain this year. After everything he's done, after everything he's been through as a Jet. I mean, it's not easy to be a Jet, but yeah, I mean, good for him. I hope he gets a ring. I really do.
That'll be cool. I'd be happy for him. Ryan, what's your take on all this? We let him talk for a good bit there.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay.
Here's fucking Ryan's soapbox.
Dude, I'm sorry.
Take a
I'm
drink
sorry.
every time Ryan gets on his soapbox, viewers.
Le'Veon Bell's bad.
Every time Ryan goes, okay.
Le'Veon Bell's bad.
Any vague pontificating, take a drink. Is that
I'm
your
sorry,
take? He's just bad? He's
but
just bad now?
He's bad now. He's bad at football. Now it's twofold. The Jets O-line is bad, and Gase's system sucks. I
Mhm.
don't know why Bell was not used as a check down receiver at all.
It's not bad.
No. But with the rushing that he's done, he's still bad. So, okay. In 17 games with the Jets, what do you think his total rushing yards are?
I looked it
What
up
do you-
earlier. It's like 700 and
It was like
something.
close. It was like 8 something.
It's 863 yards.
Mhm.
That's 17 games. No wonder why he's not a captain. Because he's not doing anything with what he's given. Honestly, I'm more shocked that LaMichael P. Ryan hasn't gotten more run because Le'Veon Bell is not giving you anything. I get that you paid him money. That's your stupidity. But
It was that high.
but don't play him. He's not getting you anything. 3 touchdowns in those 17. 3.
Yeah, I knew that. I looked up all the stats beforehand too.
That's bad. 3.3 yards per carry. 51st in the NFL out of 53 qualifying running backs. No wonder why they couldn't trade him. You can't sit there and tell me after everything he's been through with the Jets, it's really hard being a Jet. Yeah, but he still sucked. He was just like every other Jet, except for Jamison Crowder. He sucked. No wonder why you couldn't trade him and you had. So now the Jets are on the cap for $6 million minus whatever for this year. It's that minus whatever Casey for the year.
Which I think you signed for $1 million, right?
Yeah,
I didn't see the update.
I think it was $1 million.
The release of the contract.
it was close to $1 million. Yeah.
I get.
The Jets saved $9 million on the cap next year by releasing him.
So I get what you were hoping to get out of him. In 2017 he almost rushed for nearly 2,000 yards. I get what you wanted. Like I get what you were trying to do. He didn't work for you just as much as you didn't work for him.
That's fair.
This experiment, especially like the whole free agent spending spree that the Jets went on, was bad. It didn't work, and this was probably the magnum opus of the shitstorm that was that idea and how it was executed. It's bad.
Well,
it's bad.
That's why that GM was fired. But I think
your head coach is still there.
He won't be though, because Woody's gonna come back. and he's going to be like, "This is a shit show. I'm not dealing with this," because his brother's been running the show since 2017 ish. And if I know anything about Woody, he loves firing coaches.
Something needs to change fast. Something really
no, I
needs to
agree.
change fast.
Absolutely. And you guys, you gave your take on Lev Bell as a Jet, both of you. What is your perspective now of Lev Bell as a Chief? I think I want Cox to go first so that Jay can rebuttal, and I'll add my 2 cents, sprinkled in salt-based style.
He's probably going to be better with KC. That's not a question. Casey's way better. They can spread the ball out more. Like, there's not a single focus that any one team's going to like key in on. He's going to be used more as a passing back than CEH has. That's just not something that he's really, done much of. Let's see. The Chiefs are 13th in rushing right now with 119 yards per game at 4.5 yards per carry, which is 10th. Do I think that number, or do I think they're going to get more rushing? Maybe. I don't really think it's the rushing numbers that are going to be key here. I think it's going to be more the passing. They were really hoping to have a combo of Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Damian Williams. Now they kind of have that, but where CEH is now Damian Williams and Le'Veon Bell is what they were hoping Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to be. So at least in terms of usage, I think that's how. So
yeah, I agree with that.
I think it's going to be like a 60-40, 65-35. And I think CEH is still going to be the main feature back just because he's been doing it, the whole part of this year and still gotten them the 13th in rushing. So, like, he's been good. The amount of volume, like, they've been doing, giving to him is good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the touchdowns that haven't really gotten there. So I expect that to kind of regress to the mean, but so.
Yeah. Am I cutting you off or you? Is that...
No, you're good.
Okay. I didn't want to cut you off. Sorry. I agree completely. That Bell is going to be used a lot in the passing game. And I was telling D this earlier, that Bell had very limited chances in the passing game with the Jets, but the chances he got, he made a lot out of. And when I say limited, I mean very, very limited. Every Jets fan on Twitter for the last year and a half has been saying, why the fuck isn't Bell in the passing game more? Why are you just giving him all these like stupid screens that are getting blown up? Put him out wide. Every time you put him out like the slot out wide, he would get like a 20, 30 yard gain and be like, oh, that works. And I think Andy Reid is a lot smarter than Gase. Hot take.
Oh, that's fuego take.
Yeah.
Wait. We're going to have to stop the podcast on that one.
Yeah.
Hold the phone.
I need to go cool down.
Yeah.
But so I think he'll be very, very, very involved in the passing game. But I also think in the running game, and I'm not saying, I think you're right with the 60-40 split. I think that'll be about what it is. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire, or Edward-Helaire, as it's correctly
right? Eclair, like Eclair.
Artemis correctly pronounced.
Artemis Clyde Frog, the Eclair, saving Selma Hayek. Anyways, sorry.
Wiki, yeah.
Wiki, fucking yeah.
No, I think it'll be like a 60-40 split, but I also think that with Bell's running style, and it sounds cliche to say, like, with a good offensive line, he'll be good, but with his running style, if he has a good offensive line, when he makes that cut, he makes that decision. He's a better decision maker than most running backs in the NFL when it comes to that cut. When he makes that cut, he's off to the fucking races, dude. He just never had that opportunity at the Jets because their offensive line was so bad that he never had the opportunity to make that decision, make the right cut, and then go off. So I think he could surprise people. I still think it'll be mostly a passing game that he shows off, but I think people will be a little surprised that he still has some gas in the tank.
No, you can go. Finish the rebuttal, and then I'll bring my take in.
I don't know. This is why I don't think their rushing is going to get any, because their offensive line is not great. It's nothing special.
It's good. It's not great.
It's better than the Jets, which, I mean, that's not a high bar to set. But
yeah.
I mean,
the Jets, I think a PFF said there was like basically middle of the pack. So
That offense is not quite what I was expecting this year. I thought it would be more. I thought it'd be a little more high powered. I think part of it is their offensive line. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been doing great with what he can, but I think Bell is the check down back. Anytime a play gets blown up by a defensive line is going to be huge. I think that's where we're going to really see him. I think he's going to be a great complement for that offensive line, and it's definitely going to make teams think twice about blitzing.
yeah, he's a phenomenal pass blocker.
Yeah,
for sure.
that's the other thing. He
Phenomenal.
can pass protect. He absolutely can do that.
Yeah,
I mean,
if you're giving Showtime Mahomes more time back there, then that's a huge boon to your team no matter what.
Like even on the Jets, he would the pass blocks he'd make, like it's insane. He can like level people, and you wouldn't expect that for a guy that size. He's not really like a big back, but he's really good at getting right in the shoulder pads and like giving you that extra second.
Yeah,
which I think
he knows how to drive from his center of gravity, which he keeps low and pops up.
That's fair. That's the other thing, though. I've seen him full blown sell out for some of those pass blocks too in the past. Like he's there for it, which is, I think it's a unique ability to have, especially in today's NFL. But
he's an interesting pickup for them. Like a really interesting
very
pickup.
Compelling in a lot of ways. One of the ways, so the way I see it is, I don't think this is too hot of a take. I generally think Le'Veon Bell's best days are behind him.
Probably.
I think, again, I was talking about this earlier with Jay before the podcast. Back in those Pittsburgh days, he was running behind a top 2 offensive line in the league, and they might not have been number 2, depending on who you talk to. They had a crew of hogs there for a while, and that's why his patient running style. He has that very unique, innovative air quotes running style where he waits to see things set up, and then he would make that cut that Jay was talking about, and then he's zooming. He's got that quick stop go speed that is really unique.
That's what it is. It's the stop go speed that really makes him in a unique running back.
Yeah, and not to flex, but the last time I saw something like that was when Kyler Murray broke Jeff Okudah's ankles a couple weeks ago. It was that stop go. I hadn't seen that since Steelers Lev Bell. I don't think in anybody. That's a subtle plug for my team, but I'm also literally, I think that's the best comparison I've seen on film in the last little bit of time here. Like you guys both said, I think the KC line's good but not great, but it'll give him more opportunities. And the sneaky thing that I love about this pickup is he's not the exact same, but I think he's good in an Andy Reid offense because a lot of that Lev Bell stuff is very Shady McCoy-esque. And Shady McCoy ate under Andy Reid in Philly. I think he's going to find some ways to scheme this guy in there. Shady got his ring last year there with the Chiefs. I think the play set for Bell in this offense is going to be very much the same as Shady McCoy.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Edwards-Helaire as running back and then have Bell spit out wide just to confuse the shit out of the defense. Put Bell in motion to who's getting the ball. I don't know.
Run the pistol.
Yeah, run a 2-back set. I think their 2-back set, that's a volatile 2-back set. That's the other point I was about to make before you got there. I'm glad you saw where I was going. That's great. But I think he adds this unique element where I think he probably will make most of his bread in that passing game. But if you even have that 2-back set, he could rip one off with Helaire as a decoy, or if Hill goes in motion on an end around and he runs a counter, that's daylight, baby. There's a lot of things.
Run a triple option.
You could. That's the thing. There's a lot of things that I think having a unique skill set like Lev Bell, like I said, he's very Shady McCoy-esque in a lot of ways, and an Andy Reid offense that will make them. They're already a very exciting team in football, despite the loss they took this past week. I still think they're a very exciting offensive team. I think Lev Bell makes them more interesting, and I'm excited to see how they integrate him going
Yeah.
I would
forward.
definitely say like if they do run a two back set like that, watch for that pistol.
Yeah.
Because I definitely say if you have Bell be the inside back that you pitch inside, or you have
Mhm.
Hilaire be the outside back you pitch outside, Bell can wait and for the offensive line to kind of set
Yeah.
up with the tackle pulling,
Mhm.
like wait for the block, whereas Hilaire can use his speed and youth
Yeah.
to get around that corner.
And the other thing
Well,
is,
Alaire's still young too, so he's not
Yeah.
going to wait for the block like Bell's going to wait for the block because Bell has a
Right.
like he's very cerebral running back, so he's
Yeah.
going to think before he fucking hits.
Yeah.
Right.
well, the other thing
That's
in that,
sometimes he does.
the other thing,
And I
in that-
still love Le'Veon Bell. I
Yeah.
will. He's always going to be one of my favorite players as
yeah,
long as
I'm
he's
a
in the
fan.
league.
I'm also a fan. The other thing I like in that triple option is you still got Showtime who could keep the ball. He's got
Mhm.
legs on him,
Oh.
that guy.
Yeah, yeah,
Like-
absolutely.
Like I think that's going to be. I
Absolutely.
think he adds such a unique element that I'm very excited. I'm going
Mhm.
to watch their game very intently this week.
Absolutely.
I don't think he's going to play this week.
You don't think so?
No, he can't. He's not eligible. He has to wait 5 days.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
5 days of negative COVID tests.
All right.
yeah, because he was
Before
signed
you
on
can join.
Thursday. Yeah.
Still, well, whatever the first game he's active for, I'm gonna watch that very, very intently. Any more takes on this Lev Bell situation before we move on, friends?
Yeah, I think we're
I
good.
think we pretty much nailed it, so I'm very happy with the way that went. Next up on the docket here, we have no Thursday game this past week. Normally we talk about the Thursday game, and the way the timing is sorted out, it's been back-to-back weeks of laments from the other humble hosts here besides myself. But there was no Thursday game due to schedule changes due to COVID. We talk a lot about COVID here on the show. I want to talk less about the disease itself and players testing positive and all that business, and really get into the nitty-gritty of some of the things we've been talking about before, where like schedule changes have already ravaged the season. What do you guys think the ultimate solution is? We have so many things that have been moved around. I think for this week alone, I think I saw the stat was like 19 games were moved or adjusted based on getting this week to work. We have some odd things coming out of New England's camp with more positive tests and things like that. But since I went with Jay first in the last one, I want to go to Ryan. What do you think? How do you think they handle these schedule changes? And if this persists, what do you think the solution is, or what way do you think that they go?
Well, I think what it boils down to is look, I get that the NFL had a lot of time to kind of figure things out, but there's certain things I guess they really wanted to try and just keep the schedule the way it was. But in order to do that, they kind of had to see how much this was going to be a problem. That was kind of like the thing they couldn't really anticipate.
Mhm.
Like, you can anticipate that there is a problem, but you can't anticipate to what degree you're going to have that problem. I don't think. I mean, luckily they're not like a sport like baseball where you play pretty much every day, especially with the way they tried to this past year. But I really only see it going two ways. It's either that they're going to have to extend the schedule and really allow for either bye weeks or just some, just kind of maybe take a break halfway through. I don't really know. I don't know the logistics of how they would get that to work. Or you're just going to have to get into the realm of forfeiting, games. And rumors of that are, have been kind of flying around for a couple weeks here that like, oh, if the Titans can't play the Bills on Tuesday, they might have to forfeit the game, or if the Patriots can't play this week against Denver, then they might have to just forfeit the game. Like, there's only so much you're going to be able to reschedule before you kind of have to start, just cutting it off. And as unfortunate as that is, and as kind of unfair as that might turn out to be, I think that's kind of why you have the more expansive playoff system, which kind of allows for that a little bit more, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not saying that like it's total justification and it's still completely fair, but you're still going to kind of skim the good teams off the top and leave the crap at the bottom. You know what I mean? Even if someone had to forfeit a game or whatever, it's one game does mean a lot, but with a more expanded playoff system, it still
Means
kind of corrects
less.
for itself. Right. So I don't know. It's really tough to tell where they go from here. It's not like you can just say, well, if they, keep moving by weeks and blah blah
Yeah.
blah. There's only so much you can really do that before it starts becoming fair, or you get into a situation where, like, the Patriots and Broncos were practicing all week, and then all of a sudden they were told, nope, it's not happening. Well, it's like, well, that was our bye week then, so we didn't actually get a bye week. So I don't know. I don't know. They're but I think they're just going to kind of keep trying to doing what they're doing, and unless somebody tests positive like the Saturday before Sunday, then I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they're just going to keep moving games to like Tuesday if they have to, or Wednesday. Maybe, who knows?
Yeah.
They
If
might get
I
into a situation where every day there's a football
if I forced you to make a choice right now, what camp would you lay in?
game. Between what two?
They start accepting forfeits or they keep moving schedules around.
Forfeits. I think forfeits. But man, I don't know, because that sucks.
It
That
does.
sucks.
So I'll
Yeah.
get into my take.
I guess
about
I
it.
guess I guess just move it. Just move. Just keep.
Okay. All right. So all right.
I guess.
I'll get into my take about it after Jake goes. So he gave his thoughts. Where are you on all of this? What do you think they do? Do you have any additional insights? Where are you at with all this?
Yeah, I think they should have planned for this better because it was going to happen. I think they should have had the hindsight to know
Mhm.
it's going to happen. I mean, look at the Colts, Falcons, and Pats all had positive tests this week, I believe,
I
right?
think so. Yeah.
Like the Pats this morning were like, oh yeah, the Pats have a positive case. I was like, oh,
Mhm.
sick, another one. And the problem with that,
BJK.
and I believe the Pats case was a false positive or something. Did that come out today or no?
I don't remember. I haven't actually
I think
been.
the Falcons was.
It might be the
But
Falcons.
oh no, it was Coxie was saying that the NFL like was still planning on having the game as of tonight, which means it's probably happening.
Yes, the
Um,
NFL has told Denver to be prepared to
yeah,
travel for the game on Sunday, and they're planning on traveling Saturday at like.
but the problem with that is if that game got canceled, both the Broncos and Pats have both had their bye weeks already. So what do you
Yeah.
do? You can't just say, "Oh, your bye week's this week," because they already had the bye week. So you have no choice but to either extend the season or have one of the teams forfeit the game. I'm in my personal opinion. I think they should extend the season. I don't like forfeits. With a 16-game season, a forfeit means that's the difference between going to the playoffs and not going to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen wild card teams go and win the Super Bowl before, so that could be
Yeah.
the difference between a Super Bowl champion and not Super Bowl champion.
Right. I agree. Well, I don't agree, but I'll. Do you have any more to say on it?
Not really. I just think it's going to come down to them extending the season.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna have to bite the bullet.
So, I agree with what you said. They should have thought about this. They should have, all XYZ that we talked about there. A lot of other leagues did this in a lot better way than the NFL did it. I think that's just a fact.
Yeah.
I think the big thing with this is that. So the first couple weeks, so this is it's a math equation, but it's not a math equation. So the first couple weeks they flexed no positive tests. I think it was like 2 weeks in a row. Nobody tested positive. And they have, like we talked about the last couple weeks, all this contact tracing stuff in the team facilities. So this is coming from outside of team facilities. So my first major question is, where the hell are people going that put this into the NFL system in the first place? And I don't think that's something we can answer. I don't think there's an answer there, but who's, almost, not to be rude to anybody, because you're an NFL player and you obviously are doing great for yourself, but who's the dumbass who fucked this up? Everything was cool for like 2 weeks, and everybody, they had the contact tracing, everything was going great. You saw the videos at the training camp that were like, they're getting sprayed down as they walk out onto the practice field and all that. You just kicked the door open and left. Fucking guy, he's unbelievable. You have all this stuff going on of them and their measures and what's happening. At some point, the wheels came off the wagon. I don't know exactly. I don't want to talk about a patient zero or whatever, but somebody fucked it up. And that's negative in its own way. But so my take on this is there has to be consequences to your actions. I am for the forfeit system. If your team and your personnel can't get their shit together enough that they can't contain this thing after all, everybody knows the hullabaloo. It's been nothing but huge precautions and everything. If you still can't get your shit together, you deserve to lose that fucking game. That's the way I see it. Operate your team properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with
That's
that.
my take on it. Extend the season all you want. I know there's cash deals. They'll probably do the extension for money deals or whatever. But for the integrity of the game and the integrity of the league, if fucking New England gets postponed again, they haven't played a game in 16 days already? It's some
Yeah, it would be-
unbelievable number.
It's like the Titans.
It would be their third week without a game? No.
No,
Yes.
No,
This would be their
it's
second week because they were forced to play that game against.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they played without Cam. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
like isolate your personnel. You have an extra, like you have your 53-man roster for a reason. If people are testing positive, yeet those people out on the field on your extra roster spots. Don't start playing politics to get your star QB or your star cornerback back. I wonder who I'm talking about.
You think You think Belichick had a hand in getting to get that game canceled? So they didn't have to play
6,000%.
without Cam Newton.
He's got that Subway money. He definitely had a hand in it. Are you
That's
fucking
the
kidding me?
Subway money.
So that's my take. If you can't, if you're one of these teams who already had your, I like the idea of them being like, all right, you get one, we'll move your bye, figure your shit out. You move it once, you rearrange everything. If you don't do it after that, fucking, that's an L. Get the fuck out of here.
I was thinking the same thing. I was you get one. If you can't figure it out after that, then you get it.
Everybody gets one.
You get like Spider-Man. Everybody gets one.
But the counterpoint I'll give to that is there could theoretically be 2 bye weeks. I think it should be everybody gets one if your team is the problem.
Yeah.
Like
That's
if
fair.
you're the team that's positive and the other team has to move or whatever, they should also get their own one if their team in their community. That still creates a scheduling nightmare that would
So
be
COVID related, everybody gets one.
Yeah.
So let's say the Broncos haven't had a COVID case that I know of, right?
I don't
But they've
think
already
so.
had they've already had their bye week.
Right.
So the Broncos would would take the win, right?
Yeah.
Is that what
Yes,
you're saying?
Yeah.
I believe so.
That's what I would do. Yeah, if you're the non-responsible party for the game's cancellation.
Yeah.
It's like
If
if
the-
you
that's-
get players
if
to
the Pats-
play in Little League. You're like, oh, you forfeit the game. They don't care. You're 10. Who the fuck cares? I don't care. There's millions of dollars online. If you can't play the game because your organization fucked up, fucking take the L. I'm sick of this shit.
Yeah.
If I were an NFL owner or what any right now,
Yeah.
I would immediately bubble my team. Every single one of these fucking stadiums you could pretty much fucking live at.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. They all have a hotel right fucking there.
Mm-hmm.
Like you bubble your players, bubble them with their family, put offense, defense, and special teams on separate fucking cordon them off, and then so that way you can mitigate as much as possible and fucking get their shit together. Bring their families. I don't fucking
Keep
care.
the contact tracing equipment on them the whole time they're in the bubble. That way you know.
If I were Seattle or New Orleans, I would be setting that up now during the bye week.
Yeah, because that could fuck
Right
up
now.
the playoffs. Yeah, you could be pushed out when you're a Super Bowl contender. Absolutely.
If you set it up during your bye week, if you set it up right now, then you're giving yourself ample time to vet everybody, test everybody, secure the bubble.
Oh, we lost him.
Oh no, he froze up. God damn it. Right in the
What a
middle of his
froze.
great point.
What a freeze though! Look at that.
A hell of a freeze. I love it. So
Let's see if he comes back.
he'll eventually have to come back. I'm just gonna.
I had a point, but I wanted to wait for Coxie to be back for
well,
it.
if he's on a frozen diatribe, so you go.
So one of my points I was going to make is I know most teams do this, but I know for a fact that the Jets during preseason they bought out the hotel next to the facility,
Mhm.
and that's where the players were the entire preseason, and that's where they stayed the entire preseason because they didn't have any positives, and most
Right.
teams didn't because they all did the same
Mhm.
thing. I don't understand why it's so hard for them to do that in the regular season.
It's because it's not. It's
Like,
not. They just. I don't know why they were like, "Oh, we're fine now."
but they have to. But they have to travel.
And
But
get
like,
it going.
there it is. There it is. He's
No,
back.
but he's gone again. Because that was from before. Oh, he's gone. He'll
Oh.
be back. He'll be back. My face is
Alright.
covered now, but that's okay. I'll be tall. I'll peek over. Oh, there he is. I think
There
that's
it
good.
There we
Yeah.
go.
You need your video on though, Mr. Powerline.
Bah, bah, nah, nah.
But that's my point. Like, and then, but the thing that they always say is like in the NFL, like, oh, you have to travel and travel and travel. It's like you can't. How many people are staying in hotels during COVID right now? You can't buy out a hotel while you're there and tell your players, look, if you leave, then you're suspended. You're not playing tomorrow if you leave the
Right.
hotel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or yeah.
I guess.
There he is.
Oh, there he is.
Hey.
You left in the middle of that huge diatribe, so I don't know what you were at, but we're moved on. Well, we're not.
That's
fully moved
fine.
on, but
My thing was just if you're an owner right now, especially like Seattle or New Orleans during
Mhm.
your bye week, set up your bubble, secure it. You have the time to vet everybody, bring the families, do all that now. Get it set up now. You're ahead of the game at that point, and you can just move forward. And anything that at that point,
Mhm.
if something else gets fucked up, you can be like, well, it ain't us.
Yeah.
We're in a bubble.
Yeah.
Where are we going?
Yeah.
Like it. So like
1,000,000%. I think that's fair. I also think I low key convinced you guys on the forfeit thing. The more I talked about it, because you guys both talked
Yeah.
about that your take was extending the season, and then I went off on my rant, and you guys were like, "Speak your truth, bro."
yeah,
I-
dude,
I-
100%.
I
like that
agree
way.
with you.
I agree.
Logistically, I agree with you, but I also have a biased opinion. I'd rather more football.
I mean, fair. Like,
Bring it into January to February. I mean, I'll watch, whatever.
well, eventually, in a
absolutely.
little while now, the XFL's coming back, so we won't even need them nerds. This is eventually going to turn into an XFL podcast. I'm just letting you know right now.
I'm in.
Go Guardians.
Go Seattle Dragons. Let's get
Go
after it.
Vipers.
There you go.
I
We already
love
got
we
it.
all
We
have
already got
opposite
it.
Teams. We already all have opposite teams. This is amazing. Do you guys
So
have
we might
any-
as well.
you have any other final thoughts on schedule changes and what they should do in the league?
I just want to apologize to all the people for not being able to see my beautiful face.
Oh Christ, I'm the cute one. Nobody's seen my eyes yet, so
I'll be the bad boy.
I have to be the cute one.
Bad boy.
All right, and my final thing for this week in football is a little bit selfish because they're actually the teams that are playing each other. But there were two, in my opinion, major injuries that happened this past week in football. Obviously, the horrific Dak Prescott injury. If you haven't seen the video, holy fuck, horrific injury.
Just holding it.
Yeah, best wishes to Dak. And a less graphic but equally as devastating season-ending injury. It's the reason I'm wearing my boy tonight, the double fives. Chandler Jones with a bicep, out for the season. Just had surgery, I believe, today on it. But he's out for
Did
the
he
rest
completely
of the year.
tear it?
Yeah, I believe it was off the bone. It was one of those like
Oh
separations.
my god.
That sucks.
4 to
Oh,
6
dear.
months. He's 4 to 6 months recovery time. I don't
That
fully,
sucks.
I don't fully
Wow.
know the detail of Dak. I know he like exploded his.
I
His
think it was
leg.
the same time. It was relatively the same timetable,
Yeah,
which is
It-
weird.
yeah, his ankle not only dislocated, but it also broke.
yeah.
So
So,
Don't they say that dislocating is like actually better though when you break it because they can kind of set it better? I might be completely
no,
talking my ass.
dislocations are
Maybe.
typically worse
I've never done either, so I don't know.
because
I'm,
there's
I'm clearly not a doctor.
there's so many more like things down there. Well, I blew up my ankle one year before senior season of football. Jay, remember when I blew up my ankle in the off season? And
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah, you don't remember
Definitely.
that? You fucking, I didn't even know you.
You saw it in all the papers. You've seen
Yeah.
all the papers?
All the papers.
Yeah, it was everywhere.
Oh my God. I blew my ankle up, and the doctors were like, "Yeah, you basically like you either strained or tore like a lot of these ligaments in here. Things are really bad. It's honestly worse than a break because of the way like all the things connect down there. So if you blow it up, it's like it can be worse than like because bones." generally speaking, bones are easy. You set them, you let them heal, whatever. But when there's
Yeah,
other-
bones heal better than like muscle /
Yeah.
tendons.
So I think they're on a similar timetable. I think these are two gigantic injuries in the world of football, which is why put this in This Week in Football. And the Chandler Jones thing is more selfishly for me. I think he's going to come back. I think I'm sad for him because I wanted him to have another monster season and get closer to that GOAT pass rusher status. I think it's going to be a lot harder for him to be that with a whole season missed. So I think quick fire. Where do you guys' stance on that? I just called him. I think he had a chance to be the GOAT. I think it's going to be tougher now. What do you guys think about Chandler Jones now that he's missing a whole season in basically the prime of his career? Let's go. Yeah, you go first. That's fine.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I still think Chandler Jones is going to be one of the better pass rushers in the history of the NFL. He's phenomenal. He's still relatively young too, correct?
He's in his 28th. He's like 28 or 29, I believe.
Yeah. And a bicep is not as hard to come back from than like, say, like an Achilles or something like that.
Mhm.
I still think he could come back to form and be fine. He's a monster. He's gonna be fine.
See, my issue with that is so much of line play is the hand fighting and the arm movement. Like,
No, I
look
get
at what
that,
happened with look at what
His,
happened with
his
Watt.
swimming might not be the
Yeah.
same.
Look what happened with Watt's arm. He's never quite been the same after that all blew up.
That's true.
Wasn't Watt a shoulder though?
It might have been. I don't remember. I just remember he has the big robot arm now.
Yeah.
I thought it was a shoulder. I could be wrong,
I
but
mean,
like a shoulder when you're engaging is a lot worse than like a bicep that you got repaired surgically.
Mhm.
I would assume. Again, I'm not a fucking doctor,
Right.
but I think he'll be fine. Look, I think what becomes very interesting is the Dak injury, just with all the contract negotiations that have been going on, and he was on track to have more yards than any quarterback in the history of the NFL this year before he got injured. And they refused to pay him in the offseason. I think if Dalton like absolutely completely shits the bed, which could happen because we've seen that happen before, they give him the bag. If Dalton has a good year, I don't know. I think it's gonna be a lot harder for him to get the bag because we all know Jerry Jones is not ready to throw out a contract for Dak at this point.
Very clearly, that's the case. My only counterpoint to that is in all the PR, they like said he was their guy, and they said they're excited for the future, which could just be kind words and fluff from.
I mean, how many times have we seen a GM say that about XYZ player and then they trade him the next offseason?
Yeah, and I mean Jerry Jones is the most volatile of the bunch, so I'm hopeful for him because I want him to secure the bag, but I think this doesn't do him any favors, but he was doing so well.
I think it depends on how Dalton does. Honestly, I really do.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
What do you got,
I
Cox?
think, I think so. For Jones, I'll just touch on it. I think he will come back and be fine. I think you might see him favor, rushing one side a bit, more. I don't recall which arm it is, but whatever arm like he injured,
I think it's
like,
left
I feel like
bicep.
I feel like they'll make sure that's his outside arm.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think he'll be fine. But yeah, Dak is that. I mean, it's a quarterback-driven league, so Dak is obviously the story in terms of injury. So Dak had to this point 1,856 pass yards.
That's a lot.
Josh Allen is number 2. Yeah, that's right. Josh Allen, Jay, number 2 at
Still hate him.
at
He's still- he's in it.
1,589.
Still sucks.
That's 300 yards
That
more. That's a huge
That
gap.
that's a huge gap.
Yeah.
Now here's the interesting thing. The average per is still 8.4 for both quarterbacks, for both Allen and for Dak. It's 8.4 yards per. The thing is that Dak had 222 attempts to Allen's 189. That is huge. Now I do believe that's. I mean, obviously, I think Dak had played one more game than Allen.
I think so.
But-
Yeah.
So,
here's a better question with those stats. Who are the opponents for both quarterbacks?
Oh, I mean, I'd have to go back and look at their schedules, but I don't think.
Because you can throw all the stats that you want to make a point, but like you got to dig deeper a little bit.
Well, I mean, yeah, but still, the fact that they're still throwing a 300-yard gap is still. I don't care who you're playing. That's
Well,
a
yeah,
huge.
but you emphasize the yards per attempt, which I felt like it was
They're
you trying,
they're both
it was
no,
you
they're
trying to
both
make a point.
right because they're both 8.4. But
Mhm.
Dallas has been having to throw the ball so much more because
Yeah.
their defense is awful. I think they've had a lead 6% of the time, something like that. They've owned a
it's
lead.
been rough.
So, and then in terms of the bet, so that injury is devastating and it sucks for Dak. But in terms of getting the bag, in terms of getting some money, it is going to come down to how Dalton does, and it's hard to really tell. I mean, he was 9 for 12, filling in for 111 yards, which that's not bad. With the weapons he has around him, we've seen Andy Dalton be a playoff quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's no reason to think that with this kind of offense he couldn't do. This is a good offense. He's got weapons. He's got way more weapons than I think he ever had in Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
The only problem is that he certainly doesn't have the defense that he had in Cincinnati. Cincinnati was a better defense when Andy Dalton was there.
Sneaky good.
Yeah, but they're gonna have to throw, and if Dalton can throw, if Dalton can go, let's just say like Dalton goes 25-35 for like 302 touchdowns a game, which is totally possible in this offense.
Enough. That's probably enough.
That's enough to get, and that's enough to really start being like, do we need Dak?
Right.
That was kind of my point. Is Jerry Jones is like looking for an out to not pay Dak the bag.
Yeah. So like, and at this point with this injury, there's legitimate questions that Dak will never be the same quarterback again.
Yeah.
Like, you could seriously ask those questions.
Ankles are tough. Ask Michael Thomas. He's been on the same fucking ankle injury for 17 fucking weeks now. It's an over exaggeration, but I'm a little salty as a fantasy.
No, So
ankles are tricky. Is the point?
We'll see if you're we'll see if you're still a fantasy owner. We can negotiate that.
Oh,
but
Christ.
So this is definitely a worse injury for Dak than it is the Cowboys.
I fully agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, way more so for Dak than it is the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't have a crazy ton to add there. I think the only thing that kind of struck me was how poignant the words were when they're like, we're excited for his future with this team, XYZ, blah, 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 whatever. But the fact that even Zeke Elliott had to like hold up in Mexico to get his contract makes me not super optimistic about Dak.
Yeah.
Real quick before we move on, let's just say absurd scenario time, make a crazy proclamation. They don't pay Dak. Where's Dak next year? Brian?
Oh, Jesus. Ooh.
I put you on the spot. The New York Football Jets?
New York Jets.
Jay?
No, we're going to have the first pick. We're taking Trevor Lawrence. There's no way we're
What if you don't?
Then we're still going to stick with Sam.
Yes.
Those are the two options. He's going to go to the AFC, clearly. Actually, I could see him go to like the Bears or something like that.
Ooh.
I could see the Bears giving up a lot for him.
All right, you guys are both incorrect. I think if they don't sign Dakota, Dak, Fakota, Fax Prescott to a deal, he becomes the emotional, physical, any other superlative you want leader of the Washington football team.
Ooh, I could see that.
Yeah, I can see that too.
That's where he
but
goes.
I also don't think they would
fun.
trade him. I don't think they trade him in division though.
Well, his contract's up. He's franchise tagged.
That's
They wouldn't
up,
have to. It's not a trade.
True. He'd be
He'd be a free agent.
He'd just be going.
And if he wanted to prove a point, if he wanted to prove a point to Jerry in Jerry World, where do you go? You go to that
Oh, then-
goddamn football team. Because that's what we
Riverboat
call
Ron
them.
would turn him.
Well,
Riverboat
and
Ron would turn him into the MVP Cam Newton.
Yeah,
I was
that's
just
what I'm
gonna
saying.
I was just gonna say I'd play for Ron Rivera. He seems like a really
Ron
fucking good
Rivera,
coach.
quick aside, not on the notes. That guy's fucking killing it. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
going through cancer treatments while coaching this team. There's times he's physically weak and needs assistance walking, and he's giving that fucking team everything he's got. Real quick,
Even in losses, they look good.
real quick
Yeah.
shout out to Ron
Better than
Rivera. I'm drinking a Riverboat Ron. Fucking beat that cancer's ass, guy. We know you're a gambling man, and I'm betting on you to win this.
I agree
Moving
with that.
on from there, we got the games of the week. I think that's a hell of a transition to the games of the week. I'm going to actually do this in reverse order to the run sheet due to the way they're scheduled. The first game we're going to cover is Jets versus Finns, coming off the Finns absolutely pushing the Niners shit in last week, which I don't think anybody had. Fitzpatrick give us that Fitz magic. That was a huge win for the Finns. They're 3-3 in the division right now, looking absurdly good. But Jay, since this is your game, this is your New York Football Jets, I want to hear your take first. What's going on in that game?
Who's 3-3 in the division? Because the
Yeah.
Dolphins are 2-3 overall.
2-3? My bad. They're gonna go to 3-3 if they win this game. I knew it was one of the
That's-
two. Don't
if-
listen to me. I'm the host of the podcast, and I'm a dumb idiot.
It's not if, it's when.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. So Darnold's out again this week, which fucking sucks. Because here's the thing: I know that like the Jets statistically probably will get the first pick in the draft, and if you have the first pick in the draft, you take Trevor Lawrence. But I would like to see if Sam has anything left in him before we just anoint Trevor Lawrence the next starting quarterback. Yeah, I know you don't like fucking Sam Darnold. I get it. I think this will be a little closer than people are expecting.
Do you have a score for
Just-
us, friend?
I will, but I'll explain why.
Ah.
Because I think this is going to be a classic Fitzy throws inopportune interception game because that's what he's known to do. That's what he's done every year his entire career. Why are you shaking your head? No, that's statistically what he does.
Well,
Yes, no,
my-
but in
my-
terms
my-
of what he's going to do this game.
My whole take on that is you've called that 3 weeks in a row now.
Yeah. And last
eventually
week.
you're gonna hit on it.
No.
Hey, a
Maybe.
broken clock is right twice a day, asshole.
I mean, you can keep calling it if you want, but all right, this is the one against that staunch Jet defense.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
wait, this is in
27th ranked
2009.
defense.
They don't have your boy 2-4 out there anymore. This might be a little tougher than you think.
All right, you boys will have fun with your wild card losses.
At least we're in the playoffs, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting Trevor Lawrence.
Standard or not, we're there.
All right.
I'm going 27-10 Dolphins.
Okay. Ryan,
I
what do
think
you got?
they-
Didn't I just hear you say that this game was going to be closer than you expect?
That's close to the Jets this year.
I suppose. It's fair.
Ryan, what do you got?
I also think Fitzy throws 3 interceptions.
All right.
Oh God.
I'll
Oh
lock
God,
that in.
no.
Prop bet, prop bet. Who wants to throw the prop bet on this?
What's the
Oh, I'll
percentage?
take that.
What are you putting down?
Loser has to do 2 shots in the next podcast, rapid fire.
Oh, I'll do that. I'll take
All
that
right,
bet.
I'm the
I'll
witness.
take that. I'll tell 100%.
I'm the witness. I'm the witness. All right.
There's no way he throws 3.
All right. What's your take on the
I've
game?
seen it happen many times.
Okay. All right. So okay, the Jets are the 29th ranked offense, 27th defense. They're 30th in passing. they're gonna get their shit kicked in.
Probably.
Like the Dolphins are good. Like the Dolphins, they're not. I mean, they're not. They're not
They're not good. They're
not-
okay.
no, they're good. They're good. They're pretty good. Like
No.
I think they're pretty good. Like they're not ready to win or anything. Like they're not gonna like.
They're not ready to win, but they're good.
They're gonna. I mean, they're gonna be respectable. Like
They
at
might
the end of
win
it, you're
that
gonna look. You're at
division.
the at the end of it, you're gonna look at the Dolphins and be like, they were fun. Like they were a good team. And I think their defense is gonna like start getting better. Gaskin's really been nice.
I'm gonna
And if
play
they
your
can get
Frank Gore has more yards than Gaskins.
okay, but Gaskin is better
As a
also as a
receiver.
pass catching back. So does Gore do that a lot? don't.
He won.
I mean,
He did that. He did that one wheel route that was fun. Remember that?
Oh, that okay. So, but like, there's no way Miami loses this game. There's no way.
No.
Devontae Parker is gonna have a day. Miles Gaskin's gonna have a day. I even Preston Williams, I think, could have a really good day.
Yeah.
I think Fitzpatrick throws for over 300 yards here.
Yeah.
I think it's
And
a
he
huge
froze.
day. He did freeze again. What a scumbag. I also
Also
I
think-
think he has I
no, he's back.
Oh, we got him.
Yeah, he's back.
oh sorry. I think he had like 3 touchdowns, maybe up. He'll probably have a pick. He'll have one, but like that's it.
I
He'll
love
be
your
fine.
confidence.
This is like
continuing being good because
this is
we've seen.
look
we've seen
look I've seen him. I've seen him. I know what he is. Like
That was probably
I know
the
what he
best
is.
he
I know what he
ever was.
can.
Was on
But
the Bucs.
okay,
Okay.
but he can do that, and he's been pretty decent for Miami. I mean, last year he was pretty good with Miami, and he's been statistically better this year. So, like
Okay.
I'm sorry, this is like a 35-10,
No,
35-14 maybe.
I can absolutely see 35-10. Maybe
gonna
even
go-
37.
I'm gonna go 27-10 Fins.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it'll be like a Crowder and like a weird play that the Jets score a touchdown.
Yeah.
In fantasy football, I have a lot of this game right now. Like I have like in my league, I have Crowder, I have Parker, I have Gaskin. I have a lot of this right now.
I love
So
Devontae Parker this
I'm
year.
gonna have a fun time with this game.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I will. I thought that we'll throw one thing out there that I've been meaning to say all week because I've been waiting to say this. This might be the first Jets game that I'm gonna willingly not watch in my entire fandom.
Woof. Woof. So we all
I'm
have
done
our
with-
takes. We have our takes. I have to move us on. We're running long already, boys.
Yeah.
Ryan, it's the Bucks versus the Packers. What is your take on this game?
Oh, can we have a COVID so we don't have to play? I want more time. Tom Brady does better when he has the longest time between games possible. So
It does.
this there's going to be a lot of points. I mean, the Bucks defense is good, but they're not stopping Aaron Rodgers.
Nobody is this year. It's fucking
no,
unbelievable. He's having the best
no,
season of his
no.
career.
Yeah, and then not to mention, he's been hooking up with Tanya now, and he loves them. Like he's thrown it. So now they've got a better tight end connection potentially going. Devontae Adams could be back.
I think he is back, right?
I think he is back.
practicing.
That would be big.
I not wanting that. I don't want part of it. So we'll see how the secondary does. I have a feeling it's not going to be the game that you want to show people the highlight reels of. But so the Packers are 6th in scoring offense, 18 total touchdowns. Bucks are 11th. There's going to be points. Like I would put the over under in terms of points scored for this game at like 50, 55.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun. I don't know how close it's going to be. I mean, the Bucks, Godwin might play, but like Evans is going to be a game time decision.
Oh, is he?
I think Scotty Miller's going to be too.
Not Scotty Miller.
Yeah,
Not
Scooter.
anybody with Scotty Miller.
Scooter. Hey, he's our Julian Edelman. So, yeah. I mean, it's what
I have
you talked about that.
I know.
So I don't know. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Pat. I'm gonna go. Oh dear. I'm gonna go. I'll go 34-30.
Oh, okay. Jay, what do you got?
Yeah, I can see it. I think this is gonna be a fucking shootout, dude. I think Brady looks a lot better in this one. I think Aaron Rodgers continues his dominance. If Parker's back, that does not bode well for your Bucks. I think I didn't know Evans was on the fence, so that puts
Mm.
a wrench in my prediction. I think if they were both healthy, this would be like a crazy close game. But as
It
it
would
stands,
be nice if we could get them both on the field.
if Evans is out, I'm gonna go 38-30 Packers.
I'm gonna go. If Mike Evans isn't in the lineup, it's 42-27 Packers.
I can see that too.
If Mike Evans is in the lineup, it's 36-42 Packers.
Okay.
That's the way I sees it. I think Mike Evans is good for a TD for somebody, even if it's not him. The coverage he affords gets somebody on that team an extra TD.
Yeah, if he plays, look for him to almost kind of maybe just be a decoy.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah, but not only that, but even if he's hobbled like in the red zone, I feel
you
like
just throw
he's
it
still
up to him.
he's still good for like at least one touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1,000,000%. So those are our takes on that game. And in the Monday night slot, I got a stress-free Sunday, boys. In the Monday
I
night
wish I-
slot,
Wish I did.
we got
I
the
mean, my
Arizona.
My stress-free Sundays not watching.
We have the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Cowboys, which is the other reason why in This Week in Football I found it so compelling that there were two blockbuster injuries.
Good call.
I don't want to go first because I'm the host, so I want to hear from you nerds first. Since we just had Ryan go first, let's have Jay go.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be interesting, and it just because of what we said before with Andy Dalton, we don't know what he's gonna be. Is he gonna be the Andy Dalton from 2012 to like 2015, 16-ish, or is he gonna be the Andy Dalton we saw last year that was complete garbage? And to Ryan's point, like we said before, he didn't really have the weapons he has now, and I feel like this Cowboys offense is built to just be next man up. The offense has been phenomenal. The defense has been absolute garbage. This is going to be an absolute fucking shootout. I think it could be like 52-48. And if I had to make a call on it, I think Hopkins catches the game winner. 52-48 Cardinals.
that's a lot of points.
It's a lot of points.
A lot of points.
Both defenses aren't good. Both offenses are great. I think it could be a
The Cardinals are like middle of the road defense. Like they're dead middle. They're 15. Like that's,
we're just about dead middle.
Amari Cooper, Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, Ezekiel Elliott. I mean,
Our DBs are fucking ass. To be fair,
yeah, they've been
That's what I'm
playing.
saying.
They've
It's-
been playing
it's-
like
it's
ass.
you played the Jets last week.
you man up Pat Peterson on Amari Cooper, and you hope from the best from these other fucking nerds.
Here's the thing. So here's the big concern that I have with Dalton is that with Dak, it's not that like they do a lot of designed runs with Dak,
Mhm.
but Dak can extend a play and he can run.
Yeah.
Dalton ain't doing that. So
And that offensive
that-
line is hot. So
does that make defense easier for the Cardinals as it's more of a traditional style quarterback to defend than someone who can escape the pocket and run if need be? That's my, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I feel like that's the way it's becoming, kind of for Tom, is with Brady, it's not gonna run. You don't have to worry about him running.
right.
So just drop people in coverage and it's a lot easier to take care of Tom. So it's probably what you might see here. I don't think it's gonna be that much of a shootout. Is it gonna be high scoring? Yes. Is it gonna be
that's my hot take of the week. All right.
oh my god. Like I think the Cowboys will rally for Dak. I think they will win this game. They are at home. So they will win this game. It will be I'll give it 38-35 Dallas. Just
Ooh.
because I think Dallas will win probably in the last round of the game. Just because they don't lead for long and they don't hold leads. So I think they'll organize like a 2-minute offense.
Yeah.
and go get something with like Cooper or CD Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think you make an absolutely salient point about the Cowboys winning late. Seems to be their whole MO. It also seems to be the Cardinals' MO that they don't play defense for 4 quarters ever.
That's fair.
Or typically at all, even at some points. It's been rough.
Yeah.
My major X factors, I think we laid an egg primarily against Carolina 2 weeks ago for a very key reason. And I think that key reason returned in the game against the Jets, and that's why things were so good. My X factor in terms of matchups is a weird one. It's Budda Baker versus Andy Dalton.
Yep.
Mm.
If
Yep.
Budda Baker can either read Andy and what he's doing or get in there on some blitzes, Budda Baker, the highest paid safety in the league, by the way. Also, always like he's one of the top leading tacklers in the league at strong safety. He's an unbelievable athlete. Our team
That's
is
why I have him for fantasy.
our team is different with him in the lineup. I think Budda Baker is that defensive X factor. If he can get in a Dalton's head with some sort of turnover, some sort of hit, some sort of something going on, it'll interrupt that rhythm enough for our offense to get to that lethal tempo that we like to run. I think we on an offense can run that defense of the Cowboys ragged if we get some defensive momentum going. We forced a couple quick 3 and outs. They have to get back out there with Kyler in that offense. I think that hinges on Budda playing well, especially with Chandler Jones out. We had a couple of weird special teamers replacements. We got 3 sacks on the Jets last week with some people that I don't even know the names of. So that was
It's the Jets.
yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think they repeat that performance. So I think it comes from Budda, that secondary. Our linebacker core is also weirdly a murderer's row with Hassan Reddick, Jordan Hicks, Isaiah Simmons. If they can stop Zeke and that rush with Budda coming up and run support to make them have to sling it and have Budda play a little bit of center field there, I think that makes this game much, much more interesting if we can start running that offense or running that defense ragging on our offensive side of the ball. I think it's like give me like a similar score to that Packers Bucks game. Give me like a I'm gonna take like a 38-32 Cards win. I'm gonna take the Cards.
It's going to be high scoring no matter what. That was just my hot take.
Give me the Cards. If Baker can get into Dalton's head at all and make him feel his presence, that's the point that the game hinges on. And like I said, forcing those 3 and outs and just starting to run a no huddle on that defense, who clearly isn't good. And if we can gas them out, I could even see like Drake or Edmonds chunking off some runs when those guys are gassed later in the game. Probably more likely Evans. Or not Edmonds. Sorry, I'm an idiot. More likely Edmonds based off of fucking Kenyon Drake's been a fucking absolute pity to watch. And I want him to do well. I'm pulling for the guy. I like him a lot, but we got to get some stuff going. But that's my take on Cards Cowboys. Thank you guys for your input on that. We have to quick fire these picks, boys.
Do it.
We're going to start off.
Let's go.
I'm going to start with Ryan. We're going to go Texans versus Titans after the Titans just pushed the shit in of the Bills after a long way.
On Ryan's favorite team, the Bills.
Got it.
I like the Bills. They're not my favorite team, but I just think your take on Josh Allen is not nuanced enough for me. So you said Texans Titans.
Yeah, 1 p.m.
This is Titan. I mean, I think it's going to be interesting to see how the Texans are still, coming along with, a new coaching system and everything. Brandon Cooks is going to be interesting to see how he goes, but give me the Titans here. I'll take them 30-20.
Nice. Jay.
I got Derrick Henry having another big game.
Yeah.
I got Titans 21-17.
Ooh, closer. I like that. Give me a similar score. I'm gonna go 24. What was it, 16 or 15 that you said for the Texans?
I said 21-17 Titans.
Give me 24-17 Titans. I think Henry has 2 scores again. I think that's kind of the world we live in now with him, is
Their rush defense is dog shit. So
Yeah, I think he eats. I think he eats. Next up, we got Ravens Eagles. Let's go Jay this time.
Yeah, this isn't even close. It's gonna be Ravens like 35-14.
All right, Ryan.
Yeah, I'll take a similar scoreline. I'll say 35-20. The Eagles might get a wide receiver or two back.
Mhm.
But I mean, I think they might get Jackson back, but
Mhm.
that's not going to help them.
I
Old
also,
ass Jack.
I also have the Ravens. I'm gonna make it something like 35-28. The Eagles are gonna do what the Eagles do this year: go down big, come back, and not get the fucking job done, because that's what they've done all season.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I think that's what it is. Is they're down big. They give you that little bit of hope. My heart bleeds for any Eagles fans out there in the viewing audience, because holy fuck, that shit's been rough this year. And they do the same thing here against the Ravens. I can't peg any of their running backs, any of their rushing people. It's been a total mess, so I don't want to make a take there, but they win the game. We got Falcons Vikings. Ryan, what do you got?
Falcons Vikings. I mean, this is gonna be. I think it's weird because the Falcons are 0-5 and Minnesota 4, but I think Minnesota wins the game easy. I feel like they're gonna throw early and often, and they're gonna be able to. Thielen and Jefferson. Atlanta secondary is bad. Falcons are the 31st defense in the league, so they're bad. I mean, the Vikings are 28th, but it's just I just see Minnesota going up early here and keeping it. So I'll go 30-24.
Gotcha, Jay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with another decently high scoring prediction, but I think, in my opinion, the Falcons pull this one out. I think a big game out of Calvin Ridley, bounce back game for Matt Ryan. I'm gonna go 35-31.
I just want to shout out quickly. I believe Raheem Morris is going to be the interim coach for the Falcons, and I'm happy for him. He had some time with the Bucks. I'm happy he's getting. Obviously, it's an interim shot, but I want him to.
We'll see what he does. We'll see what he does.
It's always interesting with the interim coach.
Yeah. I think, despite the fact that Dalvin Cook is doubtful, I think the Vikings pull this out. I think Thielen and Jefferson have been lethal lately. I don't think that Falcons D has anything for them. While Matty Ice may try to match Cousins in that shootout-esque style, the Falcons are choke artists. It's just a fact at this point. I love Matt Ryan. I don't want to have to say that about the man and his team. Dan Quinn's gone. I actually really like Dan Quinn as a head coach, but clearly there was something going on there. I know a lot of people on Twitter are also saying fucking hit the eject button on Matt Ryan. So the Falcons are on fire. There are a lot of people saying that. I'm just sharing what I've seen. So I think they're a lot messier than even we give them credit for. Julio's questionable. Dalvin's doubtful. I think give me that offense of the Vikings over a potentially Jonesless Falcons team.
Yeah,
hot take for me. Madison is, I think, just as good at running.
Dude, he's good. I wanted to pick him up
Alexander
in fantasy,
Madison
but he's not anywhere. He's good.
I picked him up.
That's because I picked him up 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I like him. We got the Cleveland Browns versus the Steelers. Let's go Jay this time.
Oh yeah, okay. I will go with Steelers with this one.
All right.
The more experienced team. I think Baker has been doing fine this year. Not great, not good, not what you want out of your franchise quarterback necessarily. Chubb's still out. Steelers defense is just phenomenal. So I'm going to go Steelers 28, Browns 17.
All right. Ryan.
Yeah, I'll take the Steelers as well. Number one ranked defense. Browns defense is not good, and they're not going to be able to stop the passing attack. Big Ben's going to have a day. So I'll take the Steelers. I'll go 33-21.
Yeah, I like what the Browns have been doing. Like I said last week, they're the most explosive offense in football. But I think that
With
explode.
Chubb, they are.
Well, even despite that, last week Chubb was still out, and they still had a hell of a game. I think this defense is too good on the Steelers though, and like I said, I think like you both said, I think Big Ben has a game. I think what it comes down to is I think Mike Tomlin outcoaches here, and I think it's going to be like a 34 to like 21 game, something like that, in favor of the Steelers. Next up, we got Bengals Colts. I think I got to go to Ryan here.
Man, I'm gonna go with the Colts. I mean, I just Burrow's gonna have to wait longer to get another win, and the Colts defense is really good. So I'll take the Bengals losing to the Colts by a score of, I don't know, let's say 28-20.
Gotcha. Jay.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I'm going to take the Colts as well, just because their defense is so damn good. Burrow, he's going to be good, just not this year. He's not going to light the wall. I mean, he's been already kind of lighting the wall on fire, but not necessarily in comparison with like the top tier quarterbacks. Mixon is going to have a fucking wall in front of him when it comes to the Colts D. So I'm going to go Colts. I think it's gonna be a lower scoring game. I think it's gonna be like Colts 20, Bengals 17.
Ooh, okay. I weirdly think I'm gonna have this be a fairly interesting game. I think Burrow slings it a little bit on pace here with Phil Riv. I think late in the game, the rookie's inexperience gets the best of him, and a key turnover makes this like a 31-24 win for the Colts, and a key like fourth quarter turnover.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm taking the Colts, but I think Burrow shows a lot. I think he gets those flashes of greatness in against a very good D. I think the D eventually is going to clamp down and they're going to catch him. But I think we're going to see some flashes from Burrow here. We're like, oh, this is a dude. This is a dude against this very formidable D. But I think at the end they clamp down and they get him.
Yeah.
We got the battle of the big jungle cats. We got the Lions versus the Jaguars. What do you got, Yez?
We're losing. Well, I guess it's me. I got the Lions here, actually. I think Stafford, he lights up the Jags defense, honestly. I don't even think this one's close.
Oh, yeah?
I think Galladay has a big game. I think Stafford throws for well over 300 yards, and I think it's going to be the Lions like 35-10.
35-10. I think that's close. I think I have the Lions here as well. I think Galladay has 2 TDs here.
I think the Lions just blow him up, dude.
Yeah, I think he has 2 TDs over 100 yards. I'm going to take the Lions as well. Galladay has a big day. I think Stafford cooks. I think DeAndre Swift continues to establish himself as the number 1 back in that backfield as well. Is my other fun little take. Ryan, who do you got for Lions Jags?
Yeah, I'll take the Lions. I don't really have a lot of analysis on this game. I'm probably not going to pay much attention to it at all.
That's fine.
I'll take the Lions in this. With like a 31-24 kind of affair. Like both offenses are going to be able to put up some points on the other. So
perfect.
Yeah.
Bears Panthers. We're going to Ryan first. What do you
got? I'm gonna actually take the Panthers in this.
Okay.
This is gonna be my upset of the week. I think Mike Davis goes off. I think Mike Davis has a huge game, and I think Robbie Anderson has a big game here too.
My boy.
So I think Davis has just been. Now he hasn't been as efficient as CMC, but he's done really really well in his absence. So I think this is like 125 total yards for Davis and maybe like 100 yards receiving for Anderson. I could see, and that's a lot on this Bears defense. So I'm gonna take Carolina. I'm gonna take them 27-20.
Gotcha, Jay.
Yeah, I got the Panthers in there as well. I think to Cox's point, Miles Davis is going to have some suitors. Miles Davis. Mike Davis is going to have some suitors this offseason. He's shown a lot. he's not necessarily like he's not CMC.
Mhm.
He's not, he's not going to be like a top tier running back, but he's good.
Mhm.
Robbie Anderson is going to go over 100 yards again, easy. And Teddy Bridgewater's been good, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Panthers 21-14.
Gotcha. I'm going to go 21-17 Panthers. I think Foles obviously keeps them close in this. I think, though, that Panthers offense has shown a lot in the last couple weeks. But in the essence of keeping this brief, that's where I'm going to leave it, and we're going to move on because we got to start speeding up a little bit more. We got an interesting matchup here. We got the Washington football team versus New York Giants. Jay, what do you got?
Ugh, this is gonna be a shit show. Who's starting for Washington this week? Is it still?
I
Kyle
have no
Allen.
Is it still
Kyle
Kyle
Allen.
Allen?
Kyle Allen.
All right, I'm gonna go Giants.
All
I
right.
think Danny Jones has a big game. I think Slayton has a big game, and I think it's gonna be Giants 24-17.
Gotcha. Cox.
Yeah, I'll take the same score, but reverse the teams.
I can see either one. It's gonna be
Mhm.
it's gonna be a toss up.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with a similar score. I'm gonna go with Cox on this one. I think that Washington D's better than the Giants O, especially without Saquon there.
Yeah.
I think they're an underrated defense. I think they somewhat figure it out there on O. They got Scary Terry, they got some people. I'm taking the Washington football team in that one. What I would call our marquee matchup for us being behind enemy lines, we finally have the Broncos and Saints, Broncos and Pats. we already analyzed this game last week. And does your sentiments change at all, boys? Let's go with Ryan first.
Cam Newton being back is good. Good for the Pats, and I think it just leads to a more dominating performance of the Pats. Drew Lock being back doesn't really do much for me with the Broncos. They're just.
Is he back?
Yeah, I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna play.
Okay, that changes my.
So I still think the Patriots win this game.
All right, Jay.
If Drew Lock is in fact back, I think this is gonna be close. I still go Pats, but I think it's gonna be like 24-21. I think there's a lot of weapons on that Broncos offense. I think they could exploit the Pats defense a little bit, but I mean Cam Newton's been lights out this year.
I mean Gordon's probably not going to play, so
I mean,
they're going to have to rely on Lindsey.
Yeah, but Lindsey's also really good.
Let me guys tell you the right prediction here. It's going to be 24-17 Broncos. Both Jerry Jeudy and Philip Lindsay have a TD. Locke comes back hard. That defense is literally nothing without Stephon Gilmore, and it shows in this game.
Is Gilmore like in fact out?
Yeah,
I think Gilmore might.
It hasn't.
Yeah,
been
that's
10
true.
days.
If Gilmore's actually out, then yeah, I think the Broncos have a chance.
Yeah,
It has absolutely not been 10 days since his positive test.
All right.
That's true.
It'll be interesting. It'll be more interesting than it should be.
Yeah, absolutely. We have two more games here. We have Rams Niners. Let's go. I think Ryan, because I think I went to Jay first. I don't know. Just go.
Well, I think the Niners will bounce back a bit after getting rocked by the Dolphins, but I still don't think they're going to win this game. But I think it's going to be a lot closer. I think it's also going to be pretty low scoring. I think this is like a 17-14, like for the Rams.
Gotcha, Jay.
I got the Rams in this one. I think Goff goes a little off, and I got them. Let's go 28-21.
Gotcha. I'm also going to take the Rams. I don't think it's going to be quite as bad as the Dolphins. I think they do wake up a little bit, but give me like a 31-17 Rams win.
Oh wow, okay.
If they could do that, if the Dolphins can do that to the Niners, because they're pretty hobbled, I'll be honest. That Rams is a much higher powered offense. I still think they take advantage, but I do think the Niners play better, which is why it's not the 43-14 or whatever the fuck that game was against Miami. So they hold them in check a little bit, but I still think that Rams, quietly one of the best teams in the league, them LA Rams. They've been sneaky. McVay's figured it back out, and I'm happy for him, I guess, because I always have a little bit of Ram fandom in me from the Kurt Warner days because I love that man. So happy for him. Final game Monday at 5 p.m. We have Chiefs Bills. Let's go to Yaz.
It's the Chiefs. It's not even gonna be close.
All
They
right.
got their shit kicked in and last Monday, and I know that Josh Allen's been playing well or whatever, but the Chiefs, they're a cheat code at this point. They're unstoppable.
All right. All right.
Chiefs 34, Bills 21.
Gotcha. Coxie.
That's the Chiefs are gonna win this. The Bills defense has not showed up at all this year, especially not last week. I think they'll show up a bit more, but what is that to Kansas City?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll take a similar score. I'll take the exact same scoreline as Jay. Same thing. Same.
What did he say?
34
It was
21.
34-20.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll say it's close to that. Yeah. Give me like a 37-21. I think Chiefs kick an extra field goal. I think
so original.
I think Harrison Butker gets his extra points there. Gets his 3 extra field goal
Okay.
points. But yeah, I take the Chiefs here. The Bills, that was, I think, a hiccup. The Bills have done this so often in the past. If you look back at their history, where they go 3-1, 4-1, or whatever, and they blow up, and then they kind of fall apart. I don't think they do it to that degree this year. I do think they still win that division, but when you go up against a meat grinder like you go up against a meat grinder like the Chiefs, this is how it really do be sometimes. So I think the Chiefs bounce back from that weird. Both these teams are coming off weird losses. I think the Chiefs bounce back better. We all good there? That is the slate of games. We're going to go to the big debate question at an hour and 26 minutes in, which is the perfect middle ground between our last 2 podcasts.
That's true.
The big debate question, because we talked about it a little bit offline, and I would be interested to see what y'all say, is what will the Washington football team's new name be? There's a lot of speculation online. It's not something we've overtly talked about, but we started talking about it a little bit offline at the end of the last recording session. So I wanted to get that out and about and into the world for all of our wonderful viewers here. Let's kick it off with Jay. What do you think it's going to be?
I don't necessarily think this is what it's gonna be, but what it should be is the Red Tails, because that's badass.
Mm-hmm.
What I think it'll be is the Sentinels.
Gotcha. Do you have any reasons why there?
So there's something I read back in August that said that that was like the number 1 on their list. I don't know if it was a leak or something, but
Which one, Red Tails or Sentinels?
Sentinels was number 1. I think it should be Red Tails because I think that'd be badass. But
Gotcha. Why is Red Tails badass for those who might not know?
Well, because that was the first African American flight crew in the history of the United States, and they're called the Red Tails, and they were maroon and yellow.
Yeah.
So
same.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty badass.
It is. I agree. Ryan, what do you got?
Yeah, I think that would be better, but yeah, I think they'll go with the Sentinels. I'm looking at the 5, I don't know, just like some 5 some potential new ones. There's the Sentinels, the Pigskins, the Warriors, the Red Hogs, the Federals. None of these, none of them are really that great. I mean, the Sentinels is all right.
Sentinels is fine.
I think
Sentinels is badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Red Tails would be better, and you could keep. I mean, you'll be able to easily keep your color scheme that way.
Yeah,
that's for freaking sure.
1,000,000%.
And then didn't they do it? Didn't they do a good mock-up of what the Red Tails logo would be?
I think it was like a fan made one, and everyone on Twitter freaked out about it because it looked really cool.
Yeah. I think that's a valid take. My take, again, Red Tails, I think, is a huge one. The other big one, again, because I have my connection from the Washington football team fandom that I follow on Twitter and we're buddies. The other big one that him and a lot of the community, other than Red Tails, that they're lobbying for was Red Wolves, because Red Wolves are native to the DC area. They can keep the color scheme. I saw some really cool mock-ups of some Red Wolves gear as well. I think Red Tails or Red Wolves would be the coolest ones they could do. I don't know what direction they're going in with that, but I think those are the 2 other ones. I think the easy ones also that we haven't mentioned are like Capitals, like the hockey team. There's a lot of things you can do about presidential DC stuff. I don't want to go through them all, but I think Red Tails or Red Wolves for me are my top 2, and I don't think that's what it will be, but that's what I would want it to be.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think that'd be really cool to see. I'm excited for them. I want them to obviously rebrand. This is such a weird season for so many reasons. Literally the least of which is this team change name, which would be the biggest news in any other normal season. But with
Yeah, it
how
would
crazy
be.
everything's been, it's like a minimalist thing. So that actually kind of works out for them and their PR team and all the work that they have going into it. But nothing but love, like we talked about for Washington Football Team Nation. We had a hearty drink to Ron Rivera. Keep fighting out there, my guy. We love us some Ron Rivera here. You can't not love the guy. But as we close and wrap up, do you guys have any final thoughts about the week? About any of the things we talked about before we sign off to these lovely people?
Fire Gase.
Fire Gase, I agree with that.
Hashtag Gase out.
What do you got there? What do you got there, Ryan?
No, I got nothing. I got really nothing. Just stay safe and enjoy the weekend.
Yeah, I echo those sentiments. Stay safe, enjoy the weekend. Any football fans that happen to stumble across that, I hope your team wins, unless they're playing one of our teams. Then I hope they lose. But I hope you all have a fantastic weekend of football, and we'll be back at you again with this airing again. Probably Saturday mornings is when this releases. So we'll hope to see you again next Saturday morning before your games. Hope you have the best weekend of football that you could possibly have, and hopefully your team wins, unless they're playing ours, to reiterate. We will see you guys in the next one. Say bye, guys.
Later. Good luck to all you fantasy managers.
Later.